What is toxic positivity? Why is it unhelpful and how can you avoid it? That is what I'm going to be focusing on today. Welcome to today's video. A person with great emotional regulation skills is able to express a full range of emotions from happy to sad, to angry to fear. If you only focus on one emotion and ignore the rest, then you are not whole or really being in touch with how you truly feel about a situation. It's a natural human tendency to want to eliminate difficult emotions, however. This results in people feeling guilty and ashamed about having normal human emotions like sadness and anger, which can lead to toxic positivity. We've all been there. That person who is always happy, no matter what the situation. They post relentlessly about how great their life is on social media, and they seem to have an answer for every problem. You may have even been that person at one time or another. What is toxic positivity? Toxic positivity is a term used to describe a type of thinking that can be harmful to ourselves and to others. It's a type of unhelpful emotional regulation that involves putting on a mask of happiness and pretending you aren't experiencing a negative emotion, but instead replacing them with false reassurances. The idea behind toxic positivity is that if we just think positive thoughts, everything will work out in the end. This way of thinking is simplistic and can be harmful because it doesn't allow us to process our negative emotions, which can lead to problems down the road. It may also lead to you not responding sensitively and empathetically to those genuinely struggling due to problems they might be facing like abuse, job loss, grief. It can make them feel like they have to put on a happy face all the time and not disclose their authentic emotions even when they're going through a tough time. This can cause them to feel alone in their struggles, potentially leading to self-harm or deterioration of their emotional difficulties. Different forms of toxic positivity. Toxic positivity can take many different forms. Some common examples include ignoring your own emotions and the emotions of others. Pretending everything is okay at all times, even when it's not. Refusing to acknowledge that there is any negative in the world. Excessively putting pressure on yourself or others to be happy all the time. Judging and shaming others for their negative emotions. Admiring and aspiring to be like people who seem to always be positive. Why is toxic positivity harmful? Toxic positivity is harmful because it doesn't allow you to process your negative emotions, which can lead to problems down the road. It can also be harmful and damaging to your relationships, as it can make the people around you feel like they have to put on a happy face all the time, even when they're going through a tough time. It will ultimately make the people around you feel like they can't relate to you. It could potentially make those who are struggling in that moment feel worse about themselves. Shame and suppressed emotions. Shame is a common emotion that toxic positivity can lead to. When we stuff down our negative emotions, they don't just disappear. They often come out in other ways, such as through anger or self-destructive behaviors. Anxiety. Another common emotion that toxic positivity can lead to is anxiety. When we try to avoid negative emotions, they can build up inside of us until we reach a breaking point. This can lead to anxiety attacks or other forms of anxiety. Depression. Toxic positivity can also lead to depression. When we pretend that everything is okay, even when it's not, we are setting ourselves up for a fall. Eventually, the act of pretending to be happy all the time can become too much to handle, and we can spiral into depression. How can you avoid toxic positivity? If you find yourself engaging in toxic positivity, there are several things you can do to avoid it. Acknowledge and name your genuine emotions that you are feeling at the time and allow yourself to feel them. This is called effective labeling. Research shows that effective labeling helps you lessen the threat of the emotion. Don't try to suppress your emotions or the emotions of others. Pain is universal. Stress and pain is part of the human condition. Allow people feel what they are feeling. Be honest with yourself and others about how you're feeling. This helps you become more resilient because you are not pretending to be happy. Instead, you allow yourself accept the emotion and work through it. problem solve the situation. Don't put pressure on yourself or others to be happy all the time. Happiness is not the goal, emotional regulation is the goal. Accept that there is both positive and negative in the world, and they both serve a purpose. Get professional help from a therapist, counselor, psychologist, or psychiatrist, and encourage those struggling to also get professional help. Support others and express empathy when you see others struggling emotionally. While toxic positivity can be harmful, it's important to remember that we all engage in this type of thinking from time to time. It also doesn't mean that we have to act on all emotions at all times. We have been conditioned by society and our upbringing to hide our emotions and only display positive emotions. The key is to be aware of it, try to avoid it when possible, and learn more helpful ways to manage your emotions. Give yourself permission and time to lean into your pain and self-soothe afterwards through self-care. With a more balanced perspective on emotional regulation, we can learn to manage our emotions better, take care of ourselves and our loved ones in a healthier way. What are your thoughts on toxic positivity? Have you ever been guilty of this type of thinking? Let us know in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, and see you in the next video.